Welcome to the Cryptocurrency for Beginners series. This is episode 1. This is being brought to you by the SPADES community, a cause-based and charitable crypto community and token. And our educator this evening and throughout the series is a wonderful woman that I've known for quite a long time, Miss Kyra Storojev. She is the author of multiple books. She started some time ago, actually, when the internet came out. One of her first books was Enter the Internet. And she trained people, even in the government, on how to utilize the internet. She was also the technology advisor at CBS in Los Angeles. She's also the author of a variety of other books, has had articles in Technology Magazine. She is quite educated on this topic, so you can absolutely trust her. So this is episode 1, and there will be a whole series here with Kyra. Her name is Kyra Storojev. This is Cryptocurrency for Beginners. Kyra, please take it away.
Okay, thank you for the great introduction. I'm so happy to provide this information today because I feel like it's really critical for all of us to get to understand cryptocurrency and how it has evolved in our world and how important it is and will be even in the future. So I'm just going to start right away and share the screen with the slideshow that I put together for all of you, and we'll get right into it. Here we go. It's just loading up. All right, so understanding cryptos and Bitcoin is the title of this. So first of all, let's start off with what is cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency that is referred to as coins or tokens. It's a private digital currency. It's now also used as a way to buy goods and services. So basically, it's all online. It's all digital. So who runs the cryptocurrencies? Well, they're individuals. So each crypto is created by individuals or companies. There are no banks involved, and that's very important. When you open an account, it's up to you to track your passwords and security codes. So it's super important when you get into this whole world of cryptocurrency that you keep track of all the codes that you have to establish when you open accounts, because it's up to you in order to get into them and move money. It is basically a decentralized system, and no one company or person is in charge of the system as a whole. So that's really important, and that's one of the reasons why that it has grown in such popularity. So when did it start? It started way back in 2008. And it's by an unknown person or group of people using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. So sounds like Japan to me. Is where it started. The currency began use in 2009 when it was released as an open source software. And that means that anyone can use the software. The first trade was with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency that was created. And it first started trading at, if you can believe it, 0.0009 cents to the dollar. Today, that one coin is over $57,000. So if you had purchased that back then, you'd definitely be very well off right now. And there are some people who are. There are some people who also just kind of sold it, didn't think it was worth very much, or lost it in their computer, because at that time you had to have the information held in your computer in order to trade it or cash it out. So
at that price, 0.0009, that means you would get 11 Bitcoin for a penny. And so that one penny today would be worth over $620,000. Okay.
Pretty incredible.
Just checking.
Okay, so what kind of cryptos are there? There are thousands of digital coins. Make sure to mute whoever's got their their screen there. We need to have everybody muted right now, unless you want to ask a question, would be wonderful. So what kind of cryptos? There are now thousands of digital coins and more being created every day. The most popular ones are Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin, as well as a few others. The newer ones are a great bet as they can increase in value quickly in a short period of time. For example, the one that has just come out on Coinbase most recently is called Shiba Inu, which went up, if you can believe it, 29 million% in 6 months. That is a phenomenal increase. Oops. So I just wanted to show you the pie chart here of the different kinds of coins, where you can see Bitcoin still holds a greater fraction of the amount of money that's invested in cryptos. Next being Ethereum, and then there's Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Stellar, Litecoin, and so on. So where are they sold? They're sold on exchanges, much like Ameritrade, like a stock brokerage location, online. You can buy them and see reports on the crypto exchanges, so you can see sort of how they've been trading. The top ones that are well used and well established are Coinbase, which is actually now publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and also Binance, Kraken, Crypto.com, and Gemini. So it's important to know that unlike the stock market exchange, the cryptocurrencies can be traded, bought and sold 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, worldwide. So there are very few restrictions on who can buy and sell cryptos. So what is a crypto wallet? Some of you may have heard of, oh, you need to get your wallet in order to receive your money. It's basically an app. So it's a place to hold and send your coins or tokens, like a bank account. And you download it on your cell phone. There are fees to transfer digital money, transaction fees, and that's partly how they make their money. The least expensive is Binance. The most reliable is Coinbase. And big question that I get from people is it secure? It's actually extremely secure in that the whole system is based on something called blockchain, the blockchain network, which is one of the reasons it was created, is to create a secure financial place for transactions. Cryptocurrency transactions are recorded on a network of computers, and those are called blockchains. So on the blockchain, the network agrees on each transaction. So when you make a buy for, let's say, Ethereum, it's actually being sent on a network of computers that verifies that you are the buyer and that, yes, that you are buying that coin, and it records it and it like stamps it for that time and make sure that that transaction is verified by a number of locations. So it has less likelihood of any kind of counterfeiting or duality in terms of repeating. So it's actually a super safe environment in which to buy and sell. So why do people buy and sell them? To one, make investments, get a higher rate of return on your money than a savings account, which if you've looked recently at your savings account statements, you can see, your interest rate is not very high. So this gives you an opportunity to gain a lot more money that is going to help you in terms of inflationary figures, which is at about 4 or 5%, I believe, a year. And you don't get that kind of interest rate on your account, but you can get an even higher interest rate if you invest in cryptos at this time. Also, it's also an option for people to, instead of having stocks and bonds, or if you want to diversify your portfolio and you already have stocks and bonds, then you can include it in your portfolio, which I actually highly recommend. It's also great because you're in a worldwide trading platform. Anyone could be anywhere and you can buy and sell cryptos. And also with the cryptos, now with the wider usage of them, we're now able to buy and sell products and goods using cryptos. So the whole world is kind of adapting to this cryptocurrency market, and we'll see more of it coming up. So who accepts cryptos? Well, I found out that travel agencies do, airlines like Cheap Air, hotels such as Resorts World Las Vegas, coffee shops like Starbucks via their app. There's phone companies, AT&T, and they all accept different kinds of cryptos, actually not just Bitcoin. So that's a big change too. El Salvador, the country of El Salvador, this summer declared that Bitcoin is a legal tender in their country. And they're slowly adapting to it. About 3 million people have downloaded their app in their country, and they've put up different kinds of ways of for them to do it on their app or go to a store and buy and sell the Bitcoin so they can actually buy products too. So how do they increase in value so much? You may have heard about that on the news, or maybe a friend of yours has said, oh my gosh, my crypto went way up, it's so exciting. And then the next day, it went down really far. So cryptos are all based on supply and demand. This is really important to understand, that each token or coin, when it is created, has only a certain number that's issued. So there's a finite number of coins for each one. The higher the demand for the coin, the higher the value. And some investors do what's called a pump and dump. And they buy a lot at once, and then they sell when it goes up. And then they buy a lot when the value goes down. So you'll see on some of the charts, if you look in further into the coins and how they've been going, for the last week or month or year, whatever, there's definitely an up and down for all these coins. And that partly that is because there is a mass buy sometimes. Like in 2017, when I first got into the crypto market, there was a real uptick in purchasing of coins. It sort of caught on like wildfire. And then it suddenly had a huge jump. And then it had it went down quickly too. So right now, what's happening is there's more of an even up and down, I've noticed, because there's more and more coins out there. So what are the different crypto programs out there? So I'll tell you about myself, that I'm in a handful of them right now. Coinbase, which is the exchange platform and where you can buy and sell different coins. I'm in there, and I've got a number of different coins. So it's really good to diversify the number of coins that you have, maybe not just stick with one, but I'd say if you could do at least 4 or 5 different coins is a really smart idea. You can start out with, as little as $30 even to get in. But I suggest that you definitely get in, not when there's a high uptick in the coin value. You kind of wait until it goes down a little bit, it has a down slope, and then you buy, because the market has been showing that when there's a downslide in the coin value, people buy and then it goes up again. So there's other programs too at SPADES community, as Stephen was talking about, and that I'm involved in, also with Lorian, who's on the call. And that is a coin that we actually have created and are bringing to the market, and currently on a swap exchange, and have a website. So there's a lot to it. After this show, after the recording, I'm going to go and show you, if you have time and you're available, if it's after the hour, to see what that looks like, as well as another site that's called bees.social. where you can buy different coins, and they also come out with new coins, which is extremely beneficial if you can get in to a coin that's just coming out, because many times people are waiting for them to come out. And so as soon as it hits the market, it can triple within 24 hours. So you want to try to stay sort of on top of what potential coins might be coming out. Bees.social may have one coming out. We're kind of waiting on that right now. And Hyperfund is another program that I'm involved in. It provides basically an interest back to you of 0.005% of whatever you put in. So basically you buy a membership, it's called, for a certain amount, minimum of $300. And every day you get a percentage of that back as a reward. And then you can do what's called a rebuy. And then you can increase the amount that you receive every day. So I'm going to show you that as well a little bit later. And so there are lots of other programs. So you do have to be careful, though, on which ones that you get into. Some of them are scams, unfortunately. The best way to go is to go with ones that people are using, have been using them for a while too, and they've been basically vetted. There's an investment called Nfts, which maybe some of you've heard about, which is ownership of digital artwork. And then there's also what's called staking pools, where you basically collectively pool your resources together to get a higher interest rate on your coins. Those two, the NFTs and the staking pools, is like a whole nother world that we could get into and talk about. But I thought I would just kind of give you some of the wordage here, so you could take some notes, maybe do a little research on your own and find out more about them. So as I talked about earlier, Hyperfund pays this percentage amount. Right now they have, 800,000 members and growing quickly. The goal for Hyperfund is actually to have 30 million users and then to go public. And then all those members would be shareholders in the company, which is a benefit as well. There are people who are actually becoming millionaires from this program, which is pretty extraordinary. Actually, a good friend of ours we've known for 10 years, who referred us to the program, started out with $1,000, and he's now bringing in $2,500 a day. Like, that's just unbelievable how much money he's making right now. Bees.social, as I was talking about, we have another friend who invested in some coins that had just come out, and he quadrupled his investment overnight, pretty much, because of the coins that he was able to find out about that were being created. And I have one of them is called M2, but I got in like 2 days too late. So it's steadily increasing, but and SPADES, as I talked about, so SPADES helps charities and increases the coin value when people participate on the online community of buying and selling. It's also a social media platform. And this is the website for it, spades.community. I wanted to show you a picture of an NFT. I don't know if any of you have actually heard of them, but it's kind of a different world. It's really funny how some of these cute little artworks like this one could be worth, $5,000, $20,000. And basically what happens is you get the original digital artwork of this. So it's like getting a piece of art on your wall that a painter has painted. It's just the digital version of it. So it's a different thing going on right now, but it's become very popular. There's actually some famous people, they're creating their own NFTs. There's a soccer team I found in Italy that now has created their own NFT. So it's really catching on. And so another big question is it risky? So really any investment that you make is a risk. So only invest the amount you're willing to use and to risk. Cryptos can be volatile. So look at them as a long-term play, because in the past year, they have gone up by 300 to 500% on average. It is best to have a diversified portfolio of coins and in the crypto programs. Another big question, do you pay taxes on your earnings? So there is a level of regulation in the crypto market. And that is when you, every exchange where you convert to your local currency, meaning the US dollar or wherever, whatever country you're in, you have to provide your bank account number and ID, usually driver's license copy. You take a picture of it and send it to them, and they verify that you in fact are the person holding this ID. And also they do a verification with your bank to make sure that you are the holder in fact of your bank account. So what happens is that you can go in, buy your coins, trade, buy and sell within the system. But once you want to cash out basically and put your money into your bank account, maybe one day you're like, you know what, I just made some money on this. I need that extra money. I'm just gonna cash it out, put it in my bank account. So there's an earnings report that is issued at the end of every year. So you will need to then file your earnings and pay taxes on it. So so they do keep a record of it on all these exchanges. So want to know more? You can always contact me. You can call me. You can email me. If you like what you saw, you can say, you can send a tip if you want to on my Venmo, and then I can buy some cryptocurrency. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you today, and that's the whole show right there. Any questions?
Very nice.
Very good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
So on the taxes, that's just capital gains, right? Like that's the same as if we made money in the stock market and we chose to sell our stock in a certain tax year, then it's just regular capital gains. So our accountant or tax person doesn't have to go bananas trying to figure out what to do with a cryptocurrency.
No, I mean, they basically give you a summary of what your total earnings are. Just like you do when you get your information from your stock market account.
Right.
They usually give your total earnings, or if you lose money, they'll also let you know, and you can write it off.
Right. So if I put in $1,000 to buy Bitcoin and I sold my Bitcoin and I got $2,000 back, then I owe taxes for capital gains of $1,000.
Well, you have to ask your accountant. I'm not up on all that, Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you can ask me those financial questions.
All right. That's why I did that, just to make sure we let everybody know.
Yeah, you have to talk to your accountant, or
Yeah.
when you file it yourself.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works, though.
Okay, cool.
So Kyra,
Yeah.
what do you recommend in terms of if we just wanted to sit on the sidelines and watch this right now, where is the best place to sort of follow the action, or how do you do that?
There's so many different things, actually. When I started in the crypto world as well as the technology world, I did the same thing. I just thought, well, I just want to learn about this. So if you go online, there's different crypto e-newsletters that you can just watch and subscribe to. And then you can get to know sort of the language that's being used, because it really is a whole nother language. And it really helps to just start assimilating that and getting a feel for charts, because that is actually important in this, is recognizing sort of the patterns of each of these coins that are out there. Also, if you sign up for an exchange, they're free to sign up, and they a lot of times have news on them as well. So you can get like little tidbits of information. Usually it's just like headline type of information, and then you can click on it to find more. I really like to do that. I recommend that you do that with Coinbase and Binance. Those are the top ones. And I just actually looked at Binance yesterday, and they had some headliners on there about that soccer team that I was talking about. And they're now working with the soccer team to sell their coins and work with their NFTs. So it's kind of interesting how, you see starting to see the interplay of, sports and Hollywood and hotels and phone companies. They're all sort of merging together and using the crypto market. So yeah, I think that
Here
would be really good.
in the chat, I just put a link for Coinbase. So if you don't have an account, that's really the best place to see the charts. You can sign up for free. And in fact, with the link I just put there, you can get $10 in free Bitcoin. If you sign up, they'll just give you $10 in free Bitcoin that you can, well, just sit on or play with or whatever you want to do. But Bitcoin's the biggest for sure in the world. And you can just go to the coinbase.com and click on prices, and then you can see all the different coins. You click on one and it will tell you, what does it look like for a year? What does it look like for the last day? What does it look like for the last month?
Right.
And you can get deeper and deeper into it by looking at what is that coin's utility. But that's, I think, probably for a deeper dive and maybe episode 2 or 3, or how you determine what coins have value.
Yeah.
Then, Kyra, how do you know like where there's potential for fraud? How can one protect oneself?
That's a really good question. I mean, the way I have been looking at it is I'm really careful to get into something that's well used, that basically has been vetted by other people I know. and I wait a little bit sometimes, like with Hyperfund. I definitely waited, and Stephen and I were kind of just checking around, sort of dancing around it, trying to figure out, is this really a smart thing to get into? And then hearing our friends who were doing well at it, that they were getting their money, that it was on time, that there weren't any issues. That's really important, to make sure that there aren't any glitches or issues, or they're making like super big promises,
Right.
I think that's the way to do it. If you get into something that's brand new, I would definitely be cautious.
You're really safe if you go with Coinbase, for example. You're going to be really safe if you only invest in the ones that they make available. There's over 11,000 coins, and yes, you can make millions of % on a small coin, but you don't know whether that small coin was created by people who just put it out there. They own 70% of the coins, and as soon as it goes up, they're just going to sell them all and take their money. That's never going to happen on anything that's tradable on Coinbase. It's been ridiculously vetted. And beyond that,
was there something that went down that was sort of like Coinbase, but it came out around the same time? I thought it was another platform. And
there are a lot of different platforms out there, for sure.
Are there? Okay.
Yeah. So you can look them up.
Yeah.
Like you can actually do a Google search and look up top, platforms or exchanges.
Okay.
And they'll give you a list,
Right. But
There's
staying with
tons of
Coinbase.
information out there right now if you want to Google things out there.
Right. But staying with Coinbase is a safe bet, you think?
Coinbase is definitely a safe bet. They're publicly traded. They've been around a while. They don't crash, as like some other exchanges do. I know a friend of mine who put money into Binance. They told her one day that they couldn't find her account or any of her money. And so for a month, she just couldn't reach any of her money. And I basically said to her, you've got to contact customer service and hound them. And that's that's what she did basically.
Mhm.
And she got her money back. And she was able
Wow.
to access it. So, but Coinbase, I don't find that that's an issue. They have customer service too. So that's also helpful. You want to make sure there's decent customer service. Binance is actually super popular. I was really surprised that happened to her. But you know, a lot of these exchanges don't have a headquarters.
Hmm.
They're all over the world. They have people servicing it all over the world. So it's a little tricky when you want to find like the head honcho or something,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
right.
But if you have any issues, you need to contact customer service again and again and again, because they're
Mhm.
super busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
Whatever.
problem with Bittrex last
Bit-
month, and I used Bittrex last month. You remember, Kyra? And I had a problem because I was doing it for our company because we were buying a lot of Tron that goes with our Spades community, and they froze the account because I was using a corporate account, and I couldn't get them to fix it. And I finally sent them a message saying I've just made a complaint because they're based in Washington State to the Washington State Attorney General. And within 1 hour, I got an email back saying, your account has now been verified and you can do what you want. And I moved all of my crypto out of Bittrex and actually over onto the Tron network to back our liquidity pool.
Okay.
So even the big ones you may have issues with, but if you tell them you're making a complaint to a regulator, they will
Yeah.
jump out of
Right.
their seats to get that resolved.
Stephen, I
Right.
have a question. You said the Coinbase. I've had a Coinbase account for a long time. You're saying only the new signups with Coinbase will get that gift that you're saying?
That's right. If you are a brand new customer to Coinbase and you sign up and you get verified, which is really very easy to do. They'll even send you a link to your phone and you can just take a picture of your ID.
Actually, yes,
may
they do.
want you, yeah, and they may want you to upload like a utility bill or something to prove your address.
Right.
But you know, that's regular KYC, know your client. It's part of the anti-money laundering laws. They have to follow these. We want them to because that means that they're regulated by the SEC. So it's kind of like the Wild West out there, but you can find certain cities like Dodge, you know, Dodge City, where they actually have some level of oversight and sheriffs in town. Other places you can go out there, there's no sheriff whatsoever. As Kyra was saying, you've got to
Yeah.
look
So-
at your
So
risk.
Lauren, you can also earn coins on some of these platforms, exchanges. They have these educational videos that you can watch
Right.
and earn coins. And I've earned like equal to $60 in coins.
Oh, well, I'll have to get a list from you. But anyway, I have had Coinbase for a long time and I have seen them be very reliable for that part, being able to contact them and monitor. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I can show you actually, if I can get out of this here and show you I can show you Coinbase, and you won't be able to see my assets or anything, but
That's all right. That's okay.
but I want to be able to show you what it.
I'm learning like everybody else, you know.
So it's a little slow when we're on Zoom, but here I'm going to show you, this is Coinbase. And then I'm pulling up the assets here. So it shows you when you decide to get on an exchange like Coinbase.
Right.
This is the listing of all the different coins that you can purchase here.
Right.
And it shows you the value of where they are. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, they list, you know, the top ones on here.
Right.
Tether is interesting one. It's actually just US coin and it doesn't really go up or down very much at all. It's basically a holding spot. And I like to use it when I want to sell something or I want to exchange it. I see that let's say Ethereum, It's doing really well right now. It's up to 3,700.
Right.
Let's say I decide, you know what, I just want to sell it right now because it's really high. And I just put it in Tether. That means it holds it in the system
Okay.
without my cashing it out. Because when you cash out, you have
No.
fees.
I learned that a long time ago. I cashed out everything in Bitcoin. I could have been a millionaire right now.
Oy,
I
okay,
know.
that's rough. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know, me
There's so
too.
many, I'll tell you, there's so many coulda, woulda, shouldas in this market,
Actually,
in the
all
crypto
of
world.
us. Yeah.
So what I would really implore all of you to do is look at this as a long-term investment. These are long plays. You know, if you want to play the short-term game, you totally can. But I'll just show you something. This is Ethereum, right? In one day, it's gone up 3.47%. In the last week, it's gone up 4.1%, right? Now in the last month, it's gone up 13%. In the last year, it's gone up 894%. Oh my gosh, right?
Right.
That's nothing. You got to show them like
Look,
the
if you had
smaller
put
things.
in last year, oh my God, can you imagine last year, $368, you'd put it in, your value had gone up 894%. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this show tonight, because I'm like, we're just all losing out if we're not investing in this stuff.
No,
I mean,
I'm
that's-
so grateful you're doing this show. And I want to say, having been there, done that, do not watch it daily.
No, I
Just-
know. It's true. You'll
Well,
drive
that's
yourself
what
nuts.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Kyra's going to tell you later about hyperfund. That's for people who are concerned about ups and downs. That's a whole different way of doing it. You won't make as much, but you won't have the stress. But I mean, Kyra, show them Cardano or Solano, or just you guys pick
Sure.
any
But
one
I
of
just,
them for a year.
well, yeah, I will. I just want to show you that on each of these, there is an overview about what the coin is about.
Right.
So every coin has something unique about it. And so, though, this is another thing where you start to get to know the language, because it is a whole nother language. I mean, it looks like gobbledygook, you know, to most of us, but when you start to get into it, you're like, oh, that's fascinating. You know, it's the second biggest cryptocurrency by market cap after Bitcoin. It's also a decentralized computing platform that can run a wide variety of applications, including the entire universe of DeFi, which is a big deal. A huge deal. So a lot of these coins run off of Ethereum. Ethereum will go on and on. It's supposed to go up to 5,000 is the prediction. I'm not a financial analyst, so just want you to know, but that's what's going to happen probably. And then here are the stories that Stephanie, you're asking about. So you can see, you know, all this information up here. You can start to get to know all these things. Art House Sotheby's launches curated NFT platform. There you go. So now the art world and the auction world is getting involved in NFTs. Yeah. Anyway, there's so much to look at. It's just unbelievable. But I'll show you another coin because I think it's good to see. You said Cardano, Stephen?
I'd say go down the list and let anybody pick it, because it doesn't matter. And that's kind of the point. When you look at 1 year, you don't want to look at a week. You don't want to look at
No, this is where it drives you nuts. If you look at it in the day, you're like, oh, I lost money, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I went there. So don't do
Okay,
that.
so in the last
You
week,
look
it
at
went
this.
down 5.9. The last month, 10%. But if you see in the last year, wow, 1,900%.
Right. You've got to look at this like
So it was last year, 11 cents.
Right. Now you honestly have to look at this like a minimum 1 year CD or treasury or something like that. You know,
Yes.
it's crazy. If you're invested in Ford Motor Company or Tesla or whatever, you don't go look every single day.
Right.
And it's really hard not to do that with cryptocurrencies because there's so much movement and
Yeah.
they're so exciting. But if you do it, you're going to drive yourself bananas. And if you're
Yeah.
one of those people who can't help it, then just do hyperfund and make over 100% a year guaranteed.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
so for Hyperfund, I'm not allowed to record it to show you the back end. So when we stop recording, I'll show it to you. We just have just a little bit more time. But I'll show you this one. Polkadot is actually one of my favorite. In the last week, it's gone up by 18%. The last month, 15%. The last year, 877%. Hello. Is this crazy or what?
Right. And here's something, if I can just
And then,
throw this
oh,
in there.
hold on. Look at that. It started out as $2.09. So here is where you can buy, sell, and convert. They make, honestly, Coinbase is one of the easiest platforms to use. It's
Yes,
just so simple. So you can buy and sell and convert. So you can convert, like if you have Cardano, you can convert some of it into Ethereum if you want. And that's why you want to also hook up your bank account, because it says here, buy and pay with. You have the option of, you can pay with your bank account, or if you do convert, then it just asks you, what do you want to convert 1-to-1, and then this is the list of all the coins. It goes on and on and on. It's just a long list.
You gotta go check this out.
But these are the lesser known ones, as you can see, some of them are lower value.
I've never even heard of Scale.
I mean, I haven't heard of, I don't know much about any of these.
Well,
So-
look, there is one that was named after you, and I was going to buy it the other day, and I wish I had, because I hadn't.
Stored, that's right. Look at
RJ.
that.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I should buy this just because it's got Kyra's last name on it.
Yeah.
And
So here's
look what
the-
it's done for the week. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
oh
so-
my gosh, it's gone up.
So here's the earn and learn. Here's where you can get in there. It's so easy to earn this. I mean, they make it so easy for you. And if you give them the wrong answer, it'll tell you wrong answer, and you can keep going until you give them the right answer. I just think it's really funny. So it's just like a giveaway, look at this, $10 in Bitcoin if you invite friends, $5 in Bitcoin for if you do regular recurring buys, and here's all the videos that you can do to earn money.
So Kyra, you could do that even if you had a Coinbase account for a while on these.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at them, they're 1-minute videos, and you get $1. So
Yeah.
Okay.
if you want to make $1 an hour,
Yeah.
and it's actually quite a bit more, because you never pay attention to the little tiny coins you earned $1 of, but
Mhm.
they're the ones that honestly can go up thousands of percent. If you saw those graphs Kyra was showing you, every coin starts out flatline for about
Right.
a year. It's got to incubate, and then it goes up by thousands of percent. So when Kyra was telling you about diversifying, you put some money into Ethereum or Bitcoin, you're going to make 200 or 300% probably on the year. But if you put a little bit, $50, $60 into one of these little coins, and you let it sit there for a year or a year and a half, a brand new coin, which normally you don't get brand new coins on Coinbase. You can't really find those because Coinbase only puts out other coins.
Yeah.
But
So this is another one. This is Binance I was talking about earlier. So it just looks different, I don't have an account on here, but it looks pretty straightforward as well. So that's where you do get started and all that. I just want to, so if you do Binance, you need to do Binance.us, because there's a Binance world one that's different. It's the same company, but when you're out of the United States, you want the .us. So I'm going to stop share here. That gives you a good amount of information. So I'm going to stop recording now so that we can quickly look at the hyperfund one that I wanted to share with you. Is that right, Stephen, or do you want to do that SPADES?
No, I mean, if people had any questions about SPADES, we could keep that on the recording, because this is going to go into the special education program that we're putting out on SPADES for people who need to learn about cryptocurrency. And I just want to say one thing, if I could. it's really absolutely unbelievably critical that people start to understand cryptocurrency, because they're not going to be able to preserve their wealth otherwise. The dollar continually goes down, and your buying power goes down every year if you just hold on to cash as dollars.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
you-
we all know like the food prices, right? Haven't they gone way up? Home prices have gone up, but you know, we're not
Gas.
earning as much. So we have to find these other avenues to make sure that have better earning power. And I think that's really what crypto is really available to do at this point. So Lauren, you had a question.
Not a question. I just got a comment. I got a ad or something saying if I could pay off my mortgage with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
You know,
Some people are trying to actually buy homes with crypto. I met a woman who's in real estate. She's like, I couldn't believe this. Somebody asked to buy crypto. I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty real. That's going to happen more often. You better be ready. You know, because people who bought last year and had a 800% increase in the value of their coin have a lot of money. They
Right.
have money to spend. So yes, they're going to want to buy in crypto. They want to buy cars in it, homes, all sorts of things.
and if I could just, before we stop the recording,
Okay.
everybody, let me put this into perspective for you. Kyra's heard this before, and of course Lorian has, but look, ages are defined by their economic models. That's what defines an age. And we are leaving the industrial age. We have to environmentally, or the planet is not going to make it. So it's been about 20 years where both Kyra and I have been in technology saying, look, we're moving into an information age. That means there's going to be a new economic model. We didn't know that it was going to be blockchain. We didn't know what it was going to be, but for the last 20 years, Kyra and I have been talking about digital community currency, right? Because
Yeah, actually, this is our everyday conversation. As we talk about cryptocurrencies and the digital market, like it's kind of fun for us. We talk about this a lot.
I understand.
the age is changing. We're moving from the industrial age, thank God, where value is taken from the earth. And we're moving into the information age where value is created by elements of human creativity, marketing, art, right? Classes, events, things of this nature. And when that shift takes place, it also means that the economic model is going to change. So for people who get left behind, it's going to be disastrous. And strangely enough, it's the third world and the developing world nations that are currently going to be in the lead on moving over to cryptocurrencies because of remittances.
Yes,
The
it
way
is.
yes, if remittances are
Well, Stephen, I got to interrupt you a second, sweetie, because we got 4 minutes left.
okay.
So I just want to show you, this is the SPADES website. It was just redesigned. So you can see all about it. The SPADES tokens are actually still available to buy, right, Stephen?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not Stephen.
Yes, Lorian.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, Lorian. That's
Sorry.
okay. I'd prefer to have Lorian do a little bit more. Lorian's busy. She's our charitable director. She actually was one of the producers on the US Foundation, worked with the UN, worked with Kyra and I on, oh my gosh, things for the last decade that are tremendous. But yeah, we have our own crypto, which is designed specifically to meet the needs of the unbanked, the poor, the billion people who have been left behind. But we also have things for the first world because there's people here who need help also.
Yes.
And that's why this show is going to be in the first episode and an ongoing episode that Kyra will teach that will be available through the website. Because instead of being an exchange, we're a whole social community. And we just took the best of everything. eBay, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of it, put it all into one site and said, everybody in the world is equal here. And any earnings here are converted into crypto. And that means our token demand always goes up. And that way we'll have a continuing value, and we give away charitable awards 2 times a month, and you get to vote and nominate on a charity. So if you guys have a charity, anyone listening, that you want to be funded, please come by and nominate it.
Yeah. So the value has tripled, is that right? Almost, or since it came out?
Yeah, let me look. Our current value is 0.0083. Yeah, we started at 0.0033, so we're about 2.5 times the value. And again, you know,
In
about
what
a year,
period of time?
that's only a couple of months time period, but
Yeah. So the goal is to get to $1 at least.
So nobody has any misconceptions. We're going to be like any other coin, where we're going to have about a year where we're incubating and growing our community, mostly through the charitable organizations who are coming here, because we don't mind people's data. So they're migrating over from Facebook. We don't take advantage. And I'd say it's going to be about a year, maybe less, maybe a little more. And then just like you look at those graphs on Coinbase, like Kyra was showing you, you go look through any one of those hundreds of coins.
Mm-hmm.
The first year, they're all flat, right? They have to incubate, and then they hatch, and then they go up. Literally, there's some coins. I wrote a blog the other day. Terra Luna is up 13,000% in a month. This is what happens with a coin. If it makes it through the incubation period and it has a value and a utility, then once it's adopted, there are thousands of hedge funds that come throw 100 grand at it, and they're like, yeah, we don't even care if we don't make money on this one. We're throwing 100 grand at 10 of them, right?
Yeah.
$1 million.
We actually have a bunch of alliances coming up, which are super exciting.
Yes, we do.
And I think, you know, it's going to be a fun ride for sure. Minimum investment is $35. So, you know, not much, but it'll give you how many coins do you get, tokens do you get for $35 now?
Hold on, I have to get a calculator.
Okay.
All I know is if you do anything here, you're making a difference on the planet for other communities. And I am grateful for being part of it. And I didn't mean to scream because I thought I was muted, but I am really proud of this organization and you guys very much.
So anyway, we can move on from Spades.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop recording right now.
Let me do an outro. Okay, everybody. Before we go on with this, please do join us for episode 2 of Cryptocurrency for Beginners. You can join our group at spades.community. At the Cryptocurrency for Beginners group, we will have the videos here. We'll also have the slideshow that Kyra has so wonderfully put together, and the slideshows for the next classes. Please do feel free to invite your friends. Everybody needs to at least learn about crypto, whether they get into it or not. They better understand what's going on, because the times, they are a-changing.
Oh my gosh, 100%. I mean, it's going to be a light switch, like having a cell phone or the internet. I mean, this thing is happening.
No, those
Kyra,
are fads.
Yeah.
How do you analyze the different coins in terms of like what's better than the next? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is tricky. Yeah. I mean, when I showed you on Coinbase, the definition of what they stand for and what they're about, that helps, because you can see they have like a strong need in the marketplace, and that's always helpful. But, you know, there's also some weird kind of coins that come out, like Dogecoin or Dogecoin, you know, that Elon Musk pumped up in the public, and it had a huge valuation spike, and it's a highly traded coin now, but it really doesn't have any value to it. I mean, maybe they'll start to do it. So, you know, it's kind of tricky. I think it's best to go with, you know, the coins that are just coming out, literally just coming out, as well as the ones that are highly traded, because that's kind of secure.
So you're on either end of the spectrum, basically.
Yeah.
Because I really don't understand how value is determined. Maybe I'm
If you,
an old
if-
fogey from the old days. But
Yeah,
how
I
do we-
mean,
how do we know?
what I do is I look at the charts a lot. Like
Okay.
I'm constantly looking at these charts.
So you're looking at movement
I'm
mostly.
looking at movement. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at
I
movement.
look
And
at,
right now, I mean, what happened in 2017, it was this huge spike in valuation. And then it went down like this. And then it's now like this, like a bit of a rocky road up and down, but it's a consistent going up
so
for
Going
the
up.
most part.
if I can just say, look, I look at the utility and I read the white papers. Now you're going to get that's like an
Yeah.
advanced stock trader, right? Looking
And
at
they all have that. The white paper you're talking about, they all have to have a white paper, which is like their business plan. And it's located in that area that I showed you in Coinbase. I'm pretty sure most exchanges have to have it listed, but you can click on it and actually read it. It is, like I said, another language, and you'll start to get to know that language as you read them and
if you get
understand
really
them.
educated in this, you'll be able to see certain things. There was a coin that came out a month or so ago that I thought was going to do really well, but I just don't agree with what it's about. Okay, it's called Axel Infini, and it's a coin that is for a video game where people run around with swords. It's like Dungeons and Dragons or something, right? But if you want to buy the stuff in the game, you have to use their coin. So that means you have to buy their coin off the exchange. Well, their coin went up like 8,000% in a month because everybody who wanted to play this game had to come buy their coin.
Right.
Right. And it went up. Now, I don't like violent games, so I wasn't going to touch it with a 10-foot pole, but that's more of a morality issue than it was a economic decision.
Yeah.
Because if I had followed what I thought was going to happen, we would have made 8,000% in a month.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to keep up on the news of what's coming out.
Wow.
In the crypto world. But also it's good to know people that have that insider kind of information. Like we have a friend who's starting a gaming site with NFTs that are characters. So you use your NFT cards that people buy and they like play with each other. And now they're going to create a coin that you have to use on that site in order to play the game. So that coin has not been released yet. And so more than likely when that coin is released, it's going to go way up in value because who likes to play games? Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's like a Pokemon thing. If you have kids who love Pokemon, you know.
Right. So they've created the buzz already, anticipatory.
Exactly. And so you have to look at like what is going to be popular to people because now you've got like Hollywood coming in, the sports teams coming in, you know, what's going to be hot. And it's really great if you can find out ahead of time, like what's coming out, you know, what's going to be released is helpful.
There's this is really like
for just stable's sake, you know, I think investing in like Ethereum and Litecoin and like Cardano, those top ones, they're still going to be gaining. They're still going to be gaining traction. I don't think they're going to go up by 800% again in a year. You never know, but you're still going to be earning a valuation in them. They're still going to be they're going to be like your blue chip stock, you know, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
They're not going to really go away anytime soon.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work to try to figure out what's coming out and what's
it's like a full-time job, you know.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. So that's what I recommend, the bigger ones.
Right. You can always get info at our site. We've got a group there, Crypto for Beginners, and we're gonna put out information there. But again, as Kyra keeps saying, and she's absolutely right, we are not financial advisors. Although I do spend a good couple hours a day just looking at what the new coins are, what's their utility, what's their use, what would be their market cap, like, you know, and then I'll say to Kyra, I think we should go buy $50 of this little thing. And you know, then we do it or we don't.
Yeah. Hi, Jan.
Together.
Yeah, we got into Ethereum just a couple weeks ago, actually, right? And then it shot up. It was really wonderful. We bought one Ethereum.
Yeah, well,
And
Ethereum
we
was
made
at
like $500 in a week just by buying one Ethereum.
Ethereum was at like 2,700, and I said, "Oh my God, I know this is super low. I've been
Yeah.
telling people to buy, and they've been making a lot of money. The people who listen to me, and I'm like, maybe we should listen to me too." And so we went and said, "All right, boom." We just put a bunch of money into some Ethereum and other stuff, and we've made over 50% in less than 2 weeks. I think it is.
Yeah, it's been a wild. I mean, it's just wild. There'll
Okay.
be a day where it dips, but then we're like, oh, that's good though, if it dips,
Yeah.
because all the buyers are going to come in because they want to buy it lower
And push it higher.
and they push it higher. So that's where
Yeah.
you get this valuation like that goes like this.
Mhm.
I
Well, and
mean, I don't know how long this is all going to last, but a friend of mine said that it could be like the internet world, the .com world, where 2-3 years, it was just hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
And so we're in that space of it's hot, hot, hot right
So
now.
let's take advantage of it now.
That's what I think.
Cryptocurrencies are not going anywhere. The problem is there's going to become so many of them,
Yeah.
and many of them will go away,
Mhm.
but it has too much utility. I think everybody on this call actually pays attention to news, whether it's Venezuela or Greece or all these countries where the value of their dollar or their money system got completely debased,
Mhm.
right? They were losing so much. But the people who had it in crypto, they made 200% instead of losing 75%.
Yeah. And I have to say, with all these countries in such debt, it's been a rough year with the whole, virus going around, is that it's just created higher debt for all these countries, well, particularly the United States. So, who's to say what's going to happen? I don't know. Are they going to default? Are we going to not raise the debt ceiling? I think people have to have their money in something that's international, that's going to have some stability, because what I'm finding is that this market, the crypto market, is not going along with what's happening with the stock market. So when the stock market goes down, it doesn't tend to go down at the same time as well. So it has its own community, its own valuation going on.
No, it's this simple. The whole world has access to cryptocurrency. There's no way to stop it. It's decentralized. That's what that DeFi meant in all those frames that Kyra was showing you. It's decentralized. There's no way that a government actually can step in and really do anything about it, except for maybe China, because they control all their people. But it's only going to continue to go up and up and up and up and up and up, because more and more of the world is going to use it. And now, look, over 25% of the world is involved in remittances, right? People who are sending money back to their family and friends in poorer countries.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means that everyone who's sending the money and everyone who's receiving the money is getting into crypto, because you can do a crypto remittance for 2%. If you use MoneyGram or you use Western Union or you do a wire from your bank, it's 7 to 8% because of the fees and the exchange rate. The whole world is moving to cryptocurrency.
Yeah. And also on that note about China. So I don't know if you've seen in the news that China said, enough of cryptos. We don't want any cryptos to be traded. They banned basically the miners who look around for cryptos to buy. They're very strategic. What they're trying to do is have control over the cryptos, the one crypto that they want to issue in their country. They want to grow and have a huge valuation of it. And so don't be fooled by it. They want the cryptos, but they want their one crypto and they want to control it.
Yeah,
So
China's coming out with a digital cryptocurrency to replace their yuan.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're going to be huge in the crypto market. They're not really trying to disappear from it. They're going to try to take control.
Right. That's what they're doing.
Oh yeah. 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 Because when they made that announcement, the crypto market dove. It was crazy. We were all worried, concerned. And then, when you look at it deeper, you're like, oh my gosh, they have a whole plan.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we've gone over time.
Right. We should
Well-
probably stop the recording so that you can show them just for a few minutes if you all can hang on.